Hey, what's going on, guys? So I finally got a Rhen-ho Flayer in the Loot 2.0 live servers. Artash dropped one today on stream and was nice enough to give it to me. So finally be able to test it here on live servers. I made a video back in the beta with the 4-piece Zuni set with fetishes and the explosive toads that was really great. A lot of fun, really fun build to play. This is going to be more just a straight fire build, and to be honest with you, the Rhen-ho that I have is pretty bad. If this thing would have rolled, say, a socket instead of the life per hit, it would be way better. The build would be way more powerful than it is currently. But even with the gear that I have right now and this pretty bad Rhen-ho, we're still wrecking Torment 3. I could do Torment 4 with the build just fine if I had a little bit more toughness with this gear setup. Currently I'm only at 717, which is not terribly high when you're trying to do Torment 4 or 5. So we're going to do Torment 3 for now. So again, there's the Rhen-ho Flayer. Plague of Toads now seek out enemies and can explode twice. Now there's a lot of hidden damage there that you don't see on your sheet. The fact that they seek out enemies and blow up twice, you're not seeing any of that on your sheet damage. The sheet damage looks pretty low here, 264k. That's with Pierce the Veil. But we also have 17% more fire damage here with the Endurials, 16% here with the Cinder Coat, and 18% here with the Demon's Revenge. Then we're also going to have another 13% extra damage to Plague of Toads. So that's a ton of damage that you do not see on the sheet just for the Plague of Toads itself. So we're going to pretty much run a straight fire build for the most part. The rest of the gear is really just the best items that I have for this build. Try to get as much attack speed as possible, because obviously Explosive Toads does not cost any mana, so the faster you can cast them, the better, and the majority of the time you're spamming the Toads with this build. So we're trying to get as much attack speed as we can. That means we're going to run the Enchantress as a follower, since she gives an attack speed buff when we're soloing. Currently I'm only at 2 attacks per second. I would love to be at about 2.5 for this build, but it works just fine the way it is, and it's doing pretty well. As far as Paragon points go, get as much movement speed as you need, obviously. Right now we need 14% with the build that I'm currently running. As far as the rest of your core, I would suggest going Intelligence. If I wanted to try to go do, say, Torment 4 with this build, I'd maybe go with a little bit more Vitality or something like that. Offense, like I said, attack speed's kind of king here, although I would suggest getting up to about 50% crit chance first. So if you need to do that first with your crit chance and your Paragon, do that, then go attack speed. Defense, all res, and then life percentage, and then utility is all area damage, and then life on hit after that. The life on hit actually seems to be okay. I have a lot of life on hit actually because the weapon rolled life on hit, but it's not amazing. Area damage is going to be more damage for you. It's just going to be the best here. We don't need resource cost reduction for anything, and obviously, I mean, if you're looking for gold, I guess go gold find, but I think area damage then life on hit's the best way to go there. So as far as the rest of our stats go, we're at 50% crit chance, almost 51, 2 attacks per second, and not a ton of crit damage, unfortunately. Like I said, if we had a socket here, we'd go 110% extra crit damage, and it'd make it a heck of a lot better, but can't do that currently. One other thing, we are running a Wrathful Protector, so the shoulders, we've got 10% gargantuan damage here for the Wrathful Protector. As far as the abilities go, so the main 2 abilities, passives you should be running are Pierce the Veil. Like I said, you don't use much mana, so there's no reason not to run it. 20% more damage, always good. Grave Injustice, you're running 3 cooldown abilities, so Grave Injustice is great in this build. And then the third slot, you can go a few different routes. I'm going Jungle Fortitude currently, just to make sure I don't die, really, more than anything. Definitely go Gruesome Feast if you'd like, for more damage. You could also go, if you have, I would say if you have about 2.3 to 2.5 attacks per second, Fetish Sycophants actually is not a bad one by any means. Even in this build with 2 attacks per second, I've had out 5 to 6 fetishes from Fetish Sycophants at any given time, just from spamming Plague of Toads. So, you know, it's not bad. It's probably definitely a way to go, and it may give you, like in higher tournaments especially, it may be something to think about simply because, like, you may not have a ton of toughness, depending on how your build's set up. It gives you a few meat shields. So that's another option. Right now I just like the Jungle Fortitude, but that third slot is definitely up for grabs. You kind of just, depending on your own playstyle and what you need, you can change it up. Anyway, so obviously Explosive Toads. I like Searing Locust, Locust Swarm. It does a ton of damage, and it's like the one not necessarily a mana spender. I mean, it does cost mana, but we cast it on things and then just spam toads. What I like to do with this build is I don't want to be casting anything else. I want to be spamming toads as much as possible. So I either like running something like Pyrogeist, where you can put down 3 Pyrogeists and let them deal their damage while you're spamming toads, or something like Searing Locust that deal damage over time while you're spamming toads. Big Bad Voodoo Slam Dance for Elite and Champion packs, Vengeful Spirit for more AoE damage, and obviously be buffed to your damage more than anything, but also get some all resist out of it. You're not using mana, so you don't need Honor Guest, so Spirit Walk Jaunt is the way to go here. And then Gargantuan Wrathful Protector. This guy hits like a truck. He is absolutely insane. This is definitely your elite killer, and with Grave Injustice it's off a cooldown quite often. It's a 60-second cooldown normally, but it's up just about any time you need it to be. So that's the build, that's the gear. Let's go ahead and jump into it real quick. Go ahead and let's go to Keep Depths 3. There should be a good amount of trash here and some elite and champion packs and all that good stuff. Get into it real quick. So normally, like, you want to make sure that you snapshot, not necessarily snapshot, but you want to cast your Pestilence after you put down Big Bad Voodoo, because your Pestilence is going to take the damage that you have when you cast it. So if you cast Pestilence and then step into Big Bad Voodoo, your Pestilence is not going to go up in damage. Whereas things like pets and stuff like that do go up in damage afterwards. So you want to make sure that you cast your Pestilence after the Big Bad Voodoo on Elite and Champion packs like that. So, I mean, the toads right now are critting for about 1 million right there. Pretty much a piece of cake. There's a lot of Elite and Champion packs here, man. They're like all bunched up. Good lord. So, like here we don't have Big Bad Voodoo or Wrathful Protector up. Just because we fought 2 packs right in a row like that. But it's still really pretty much a piece of cake. I mean, I could pop this Big Bad Voodoo, but I don't really need to. Everything's pretty much dead real quick just from the Searing Locusts and the toads. So, like, as you can see, the damage is definitely enough for Torment 4 currently. It's just more about surviving at this point. If I had about, I would say 1 million toughness or so, I'd feel much better about that. Gotta be a little careful here. So get in the Big Bad Voodoo and cast your Pestilence. I like to stand in that Big Bad Voodoo, but when you've got a lot of laser beams around you, you got to be a little careful there. Alright, let's go ahead and go to Core real quick. Find another couple of Champion Elite packs there. But, I mean, this build absolutely just decimates white mobs. You know, the trash dies almost instantly, almost gets one-shotted between the Searing Locusts and the toads. As you can see, I mean, it's pretty disgusting. It's a lot of fun to play too, man. This is by far my favorite weapon that I've played with in Loot 2.0. I love this thing. It's great. Another option you could also run too, if you're having issues staying alive, is you could run the Siphon rune on Soul Harvest. It gives you another instant heal when you need it, if you're having problems. I mean, the Gargantuan right there, I had to move around a lot just because of the frozen on the ground. He pretty much just soloed that elite pack for me. I mean, when he's buffed up, I've seen him crit for 8 or 9 million before. Now, that was with Gruesome Feast and things like that, but, I mean, the dude does some damage. He's a beast. Pretty much not much to it, man. Oh, we got a legendary even. B-Tasker and Theos. They are not. Oh, man. Too bad. That would have been good for this video. Oh, well, what are you going to do? So I'm going to pop this guy for this this goblin just to make sure he dies. Alrighty. So, I mean, you can imagine if I actually had a socket on this weapon, if I had another 100% crit damage in this build, how much damage this would be. I mean, it'd be absolutely disgusting. This is a really bad version of the weapon. And it's still pretty much just taking care of everything. No issues whatsoever. Piece of cake. So there you go, guys. That's the build. I hope you like it. If you have this weapon and you're not using it currently, I would at least give it a shot. I've had some people have mixed reviews on it. I think if you build your character properly and you stack the Plague of Toads damage and the fire damage, the elemental fire damage in your build, and things like that, and attack speed, you can really, really make it powerful, as you can see. So there you go. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.